MS Dhoni will collect the World Cup trophy. And he'll get it from Mr. Sharad Pawar, the president of the ICC. The party begins in Mumbai. And that's it from the presentation area.
Cricket has always been the game of the Asian subcontinent, with superstars like Sachin Tendulkar and Shahid Afridi revered as legends in India and Pakistan respectively. But in recent times, it's been young British Asians who have begun to make their breakthrough.
Bowled in, top of off stump, what a beauty. Good move Strauss, great bowling Shahzad.
Yorkshire beat Worcestershire by 9 wickets. The leg spinner Adil Rashid on fire with 11 wickets in that game.
Street again, and he has got Hastings, who was tied in a knot. Rashid picks up his 3rd wicket.
Oh, bowling with an absolute japper. That is a real beauty. Shahzad takes his 3rd wicket.
Some examples there of the success that has been achieved by young British Asians Ajmal Shahzad and Adil Rashid, who are considered amongst the best bowling prospects that are currently available to England. Along with players such as Sajid Mahmood, Monty Panesar and Ravi Bopara, they represent an increasing number of young British Asian talents who've risen to perform at the highest level. I've been around Lancashire to investigate what the success of these players means to the British Asian community, and to Asian players at a grassroots level, and also to take a look at what the major issues in English cricket are for these players. I began by talking to Ismail Timmat, a representative of Preston's Muslim Cultural Centre. He told me what the performances of Shahzad and Rashid mean to British Asians.
They are very proud. Just to see them break through, you can probably see the passion, especially with the India-Pakistan cricket match that happened just in the week, how much passion the British Muslim community has for cricket, and to see one of their own breakthrough is very, very, the community is very, very proud.
And Timmat also feels that the success of British Asians in cricket sends out a message about British society.
It should show how multicultural our society is and how multicultural Britain is by allowing for this to happen, not even allowing, but for this to happen simply. This just shows exactly how multicultural our society is.
I asked Ismail if he felt there was a reason for the recent breakthrough of young British Asians into cricket, and he told me that he views this as being a natural development as the generations have passed since the first Asian families moved to Britain.
I think it was a numbers game more than anything. That obviously there weren't that many opportunities for cricketers in the past breaking through, because the influx generally happened in the 60s and 70s from the subcontinent to this country, and naturally they couldn't go and play cricket straight away. They had to establish their own, their own stamp on who they are, what they are. They went through the textile mills, the factories, eventually gave born to sons and daughters who went on to become all different professions. And obviously, with the love of cricket that the subcontinent has, a lot of the sons and daughters, or not sons, maybe the daughters, but especially the sons, went into the sports area. And obviously cricket, with the talent that's already in the subcontinent, it was natural to see someone with the subcontinent background to progress in this country as well. And this is why we're seeing a lot more and more Muslim Asian cricketers breaking through, and I think there will be many, many more to come through as well.
I went along to a training session at Lancashire Cricket Club's academy to meet 2 of the club's young British Asian talents, Yaqub Bamji and Mohammed Abid. Blackburn-born fast bowler Yaqub agrees that the performances of Shahzad and Rashid are a source of pride for the British Asian community and show that the game is open to those of all backgrounds.
Yeah, very proud, because it's just obviously aware of just putting a message across that it's not, cricket's not just for any, just for everyone, British Asian, whatever it may be, cricket, if you're good at cricket and you're enthusiastic to play, it's for everyone.
And having played Junior League cricket for East Lancashire and Darwin Cricket Club, he believes that young British Asians entering into the game have as good an opportunity to succeed as anyone else.
At club level, I think the lads that do come and trial out, the Asian lads that coming out under 14 and 15, they all get equal chance, even if you're coming in at playing second team level, and if you're a bit older, 30, 35, if you're good enough to play, most probably you get a chance.
Indeed, Yaqub's experiences within the English game have all been positive, and he doesn't believe there's any discrimination whatsoever present within English cricket.
Well, not really. They've always treated us equal as any other player, just as an individual. You know, give you respect the way you deserve respect, and give you the coaching and the help that you need, just as any ordinary player.
Yaqub's teammate Mohammed Abid was born in Pakistan but moved to England at a young age. He's been playing club cricket with Ashton for the past 5 years and was recently called up to England's youth setup. He feels there's plenty of understanding amongst coaches about the impact that religious commitments have upon British Asians.
I'm from England under 18 program, and they ask me when is your prayer time, so when is your not, so then they already knows about religions.
The Academy's director John Stanworth was behind the recruiting of the two youngsters, and he feels young British Asians could bring subcontinental flair to English cricket, with their potential being something that Lancashire and the other counties should explore.
And the subcontinent, they seem to be able to express themselves more freely, more regularly, and I think they've got a depth of talent in those countries which we don't have here. So that's why I think, as we get in British Asians, I would like to explore that, or for at least our board to explore that, to see what potential is out there.
One area that Stanworth feels English cricket can improve in is the mixing together of white players and British Asians, and he doesn't believe that leagues and teams made up of single ethnicities are helpful to the development of young talent.
I am aware that other Asian cricket clubs and cricket leagues are predominantly Asian, which I don't think is healthy. I think that there has to be integration. I think if integration is encouraged, then there are lots of different benefits to that. But from a purely selfish point of view, from my point of view, if I see cricketers playing with and against the best cricketers that are available, then it gives me an opportunity to progress that talent that they're demonstrating. So what I would say in a nutshell is that if we have integrated cricketers and cricket played in this county, and we do that as thoroughly and effectively as we can, then I'm going to see the best cricketers coming through at the end of that process. Then for me, their selection will be based on their performances and their potential to perform at the next level, and whether they are West Indians, Pakistani, Indians, Sri Lankans, or English, Irish, Scottish or Welsh, it's irrelevant to me.
So with the noises coming from Lancashire being largely positive, I decided to take a look at the grassroots level and went down to Preston Cricket Club. The club is predominantly made up of players from Asian backgrounds, and the first team captain Lukman Vahalawala told me that the club has strong links with the local British Asian community.
We're supporting all Asian lads at the moment. We got most of half of the club is playing with the Asian lad, and we coach in Asian lad. There is many kids in Asian community from Asian communities.
And he also explained why many young British Asians retain a support for the countries of their forefathers, but told me there is no shortage of support for England amongst the Asian community.
There's a natural, them fathers and mothers from India and Pakistan, so them feelings from there, you know what I mean? So that's why the kids following them. But we love to support England, we love to support England.
Lukman also explained that whilst he doesn't feel the current crop of British Asian cricketers can become idols to youngsters on a par with Sachin Tendulkar or Shahid Afridi, there may be superstars set to emerge from the British Asian community in the future.
There may be new generation coming, so maybe new Sachin coming in England as well, you know what I mean? So maybe Afridi as well, maybe Morley as well in England, in the new generation. They're not going to say Shahzad and Mahmood and Hero. Maybe, in the future.
I also managed to grab a brief word with the club's newly signed professional Saeed Barawala, who has played cricket in both England and India. And he told me that for both British Asians and those living in the subcontinent, cricket is more than just a sport.
Cricket is it's in our heart, basically it's like our religion, more or less, you know what I mean? So we play with my all heart and all the effort. I mean, for English, there are a lot of people there to think it's a career in the football, but it's not just that. If you put your effort in the cricket, you can still come back into it,
My next port of call was Accrington, to talk to the captain of Oswald Twistle Emmanuel Cricket Club, Imran Abid. He's been playing cricket since he moved from Pakistan as a 9-year-old, and as such has plenty of experience in the English game, including a brief spell at Lancashire. And he feels that in recent times, the England and Wales Cricket Board has been making more efforts to encourage those from all backgrounds to get into the game.
I think over the last 10 years especially, there has been a rise of international cricketers as well, from the Asian background. So it's a clear strategy that seems to come through from the England Cricket Board, that they're kind of trying to tap into the British talent that they have. And especially when I was playing as well, when I was playing for Lancashire, there was always kind of promotion for cutting out racism in the game and things like that, and there was a real kind of push to make sure that they push into to tap into the multicultural kind of Britain that we have.
In contrast to the mood at Preston, Imran told me that he felt the performances of Shazad and Rashid would definitely play a role in inspiring the next generation of young British Asian cricketers.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, as we know, youngsters, they need role models, and what better than to have, your own kind of people kind of representing you at that level, and it's more so a case of giving them belief rather than any sort of shift in attitude. I think it's more so letting them know that, look, if you're good enough, you'll make it, and the more we see that at a higher level, the more kind of inspiration that the youngsters will get from that, and it certainly will help, yeah, definitely.
I found a very different point of view when I spoke to a former teammate of Abid, Bilal Mustafa. He had a short time in county cricket in the late 90s and early 2000s, but was forced to retire early through injury. His experiences as a British Asian in cricket were decidedly different to those others described to me. One particular area he found difficult was the observance of religious commitments, something which coaches didn't take into consideration.
No, I think when I was playing junior cricket, I wasn't I'd still pray, but I wouldn't be doing it at the matches. I think as I got older, then I did start praying even at matches, but religion was never a factor.
However, through keeping in contact with his old teammates, Bilal now feels that there is much more understanding of the issue that religion presents.
I think there is, because you've got religion a lot more in the news and everything as well, and I think now with county players, you're having more overseas players, like a lot of other Muslim players coming over, such as like Sakli Mushtaq Ahmed, these guys, and even the county cricketers that are British but Muslim, like Bilal Shafai, Moeen Ali, all these guys. I think with them being more religious, so to speak, they'll be praying at the matches. So I think there is more awareness of it.
One issue Bilal has with English cricket is the traditional nature of the coaching system, something which he feels stifles the natural creativity of those from an Asian background.
I think a lot of the time you see players like from the subcontinent, like Muralitharan from Sri Lanka. If he was English, he would never have been able to bowl, because they would have said, you can't bowl like this. I think a lot of the time the English technique usually ends up being like, it's always textbook. They'll want everybody doing the same, like pretty much like robots. Whereas subcontinental teams, like a lot of the players will be risky, so they're able to play different shots. And even the bowlers might be a bit different. Like Sri Lanka have been quite good with that, with Muralitharan, Malinga as well, and the new guy Mendes. All of them very different bowlers, but none of them would have probably made it that far playing in England.
However, despite his concerns, Bilal feels that the success of players such as Shazad and Rashid shows that the future is bright for British Asians in cricket.
I think the future is good for that, because it's showing the way. Like, you've got Ravi Bopara playing as well now, playing for England, and with the IPL coming in, a lot of the players do go over to India as well, and you are getting more and more Asians playing the sport. And then when you see a lot of them doing well, like Adil Rashid or Ajmal Shazad, I think it does give hope to other Asians who would want to go that way.
And so, with Bilal agreeing that chances for those of an Asian background are far greater now than when he played, I've learnt that attitudes towards British Asian success in cricket are for the most part positive. My journey has taught me that British Asians across cricket in Lancashire feel the number of players representing their community in cricket will only increase as time goes on, and that's something Ismail Timmat believes in very firmly, and he feels the future within English cricket for young British Asians is very bright indeed.
Almost definitely. You'll get more and more breaking through. The amount of interest in cricket from British Asians and Muslims is very high. High on the level of breaking through, high on the level of getting through to county level, getting through to semi-professional level, and obviously going further on. So by all means, the future is very rosy for British Asian cricket.